Welcome to Project Secrets and Planning. Here you will learn Primavera P6 and Advanced Planning Engineering.
Hello and Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Project Secrets and Planning Lecture 2. Hey Ashu, Moa, how are you?
We all are fine, sir.
We are yet not starting Primavera practice sessions. First we will develop understanding of planning engineering terms and keywords. In this lecture, we will learn about enterprise project structure, project understanding, planning and monitoring without resources, scheduling with resources, roles, and how to monitor and control a resource schedule. From my next video, I will start practice sessions of Primavera. So if you didn't subscribe my channel, so please do it now and press the bell icon in order to be aware of my new lecture.
Sorry to interrupt you, sir. But I know the EPS.
Oh really? Then tell us about it.
EPS actually enables many projects to be managed in one database. This function is similar to summarizing activities of a project under a work breakdown structure, WBS. If you have more than one project, then it manages critical resources. Means one resource working in multiple projects. And allow reporting of all projects.
You are a genius, Ashu, like your brother Maes.
Thank you, sir.
Before starting a project plan, you should understand the project, and the information will be available on following documents, such as your project charter, scope of work, or contract document, specifications, drawings, plans, and the bid document emphasizing what you promised with your client. Now, first I am talking about planning without resources. If you open your Primavera and create a new project, you need to put some information regarding your project. Define an EPS and UBS organizational breakdown structure to your project. Define your project ID and name. Start date of your project, and if you know your project finish date, or finish date is constrained from your client, then you have to put finish dates as well. Define rate type of resources. Then you have to assign calendar to your project, or develop your own calendar and assign. Because in Pakistan, most of the project's working hours per day is 10. And no holidays of Saturday and Sunday, except exceptional vacations announced by federal government.
Sir, even calendars have types.
Yes, dear. But this classification is based on their assignment. Calendars, which can be assigned to activities and resources, are categorized as global, while project calendars can only be assigned to activities. Similarly, resource calendar are assigned to resources only.
Ah, sounds cool. By the way, sir, you will start Primavera practice session in next class. So in today's lecture, beneficial to us.
Did you see any irrelevant stuff yet?
No.
Exactly. Because this is important prior to start practicing. If you don't understand the concepts, how can you do planning and review your schedule?
Ah, I am sticking here to enhance my knowledge.
Good. Now coming to PBS. PBS actually classifies the activities. It has two types: WBS and activity code. You assign your activities to a particular WBS in order to sort, grouping, and can summarize your data. Same as activity code, but its assigning method is different. You need to know the phases of your project, for example, design, procurement, construction, etc. Your disciplines, for example, civil, mechanical, electrical, etc., and number of work locations. When you add an activity, you have to estimate its duration, number of resources to assign in. Then you make relationships between activities. What do you mean by relationship here? There are 4 types of relationships between activities which makes your schedule logical. Start to start. Like 2 activities start on the same time, parallel. Finish to start. Like you cannot do lean concrete of a foundation before its excavation. So excavation will finish, allow start of lean. Other logics are start to finish and finish to finish.
What this figure shows us?
Lags are those durations from which you delay or make your activity earlier against your logics. For example, you cannot install or place your equipment on foundation before it's curing. Means the foundation concreting has finished, but you have to wait till it's curing time to install or place equipment. Similarly, you want to start an activity earlier the finish of its predecessor activity. Like you have two activities: welding and inspection. Let's say you have to weld and inspect 5 joints of your pipeline. Your welding continues to next joint, but the whole welding activity is not finished. So your inspection team can start its work, and will not wait for completion of whole welding activity. So you choose suitable relationship, let's say finish to start. And you put 1 day or 2 day negative lags. It will be shown like this figure. Now Ashu, please explain the scheduling of project, critical path and floats.
Yes, sir. After making relationships, Primavera calculates the shortest time in which the project may be completed, keeping relationship, constraint and calendar non-workdays. Scheduling will develop the critical path of the project. While critical path is the shortest duration that a project may be completed in, and a delay to any activity will delay the end date of the project. Keep in mind that critical path has 0 total float. While total float is the amount of time an activity may be delayed without extending the project end date, which you can see in the figure. The free float is the amount of time an activity may be delayed without delaying another activity.
Excellent. You should leave your home chores and can become an instructor.
No, sir. My husband already accused me that I am outspoken.
So, also explain the constraints of project.
Yes, sir. There are 2 types of constraints: project constraint and activity constraint. Project constraint is project start and finish dates. And must remember that, when a project must finish date is a constraint, means from client, you have to finish your project in a given date, then total float will be calculated from that finish date. Activity constraints would be, start on or after, means, activity will no longer start on the date when this constraint is assigned. Finish on or before means, the date you have put, the activity will have to end on this date or before this date.
Well defined, Ashu. Okay, what is contingent time?
Sir, you take some margins on your estimated duration of a project via activities. So you add some marginal duration, in order to minimize the delay of schedule.
Ahem, very good. And how you will insert the contingent time on your schedule?
Several methods could be used. You can insert 1 or more contingent time activities. While critical path is the shortest duration that a project may be completed in, and a delay to any activity will delay the end date of the project, you can assign work days in your calendar non-work days. You can increase your activity durations by a factor using global change feature of Primavera. And you can assign positive lags between activities as well.
Too smart you are. Now, I will tell you about tracking the unresourced project. You know that the date on which progress is reported is known as data date or update date or status date. This date is not the reporting date. It is the date till you gather the information from site. After gathering the information, what will you do? There will be 3 types of activities for which you have to collect the information. Completed, in progress and unstarted activities. For completed activities, you should know its actual start and finish dates. For in progress activities, you have to update its actual start, and how much percentage of work has been completed. And duration or expected finish date of the activity. For unstarted activities, if any revision required. If any scope changes, then you have to delete or add some activities. Or change the logics. The recorded progress is then compared with the baseline dates, and check the variances at how much differ your actual work from planned one.
Then, sir, we have to mitigate the deficiencies.
Yeah. Aha. Of course. And how we do this?
We can reduce contingent time and assign negative lag on finish to start, or positive lag on start to start activities. And
we can change the relationships as well. We can reduce the duration of activities by increasing resources, if resourced schedule.
Yes, sir. This is simply easier. What we will do if we have resourced schedule. Especially, if we have too many resources in a complex project.
We assign actual units, which are simply man-hours and costs, to resources, and calculate these to completion, and conduct earned value analysis. We try to use minimum number of resources in large and complex projects.
What do you mean, sir? If a work requires 4 men, how could we minimize manpower in Primavera?
If you have too many resources, then you will definitely be in problem during updating. I mean, instead of assigning individual resources, such as people by name, use their skills name. Use crews or teams, like carpenter, steel fixer, mason, etc.
Oh. Now I can understand. And how do we create resources?
In a resource tab of Primavera, we create different resources skill-wise, and assign these to their relevant activities. Another option in Primavera is about roles. Roles are skill or trade or job description, an alternative to resources. It may also be assigned to activities, similarly as resources.
If they are same, then why both of them introduced in the software? Any differences between them?
Yes. Good question. The difference is, if a resource has multi-skills, so it can have multiple roles. For example, a planning engineer is also a document controller, so this resource would be assigned 2 roles, planning engineer and document controller.
That's cool. Very good example, sir.
You can optimize your resources as well. We will discuss in detail when we will reach in this topic. For now, just briefly telling you that, from leveling option, you can optimize your resources. It will reduce peaks and smooth your resource requirements, and reduce resource demand to the available number of resources. Reduce demand of cash flow. It will delay your activities until resources become available. If you people have understood today's lecture, then you can brief how could we monitor and control a resource schedule.
Yes, sir. Along with the information gathered in an unresourced schedule, we will also gather quantities and costs spent to date, per activity, for each resource, and what are required to complete the in-progress and not started activities as well. While controlling will be done by earned value management, which you will tell us in coming sessions.
Now the lecture has ended. Thank you for your support. And don't be absent in next class, because I will start Primavera practice session. And hey Ashu.
Yeah, don't forget to like, share and subscribe your channel. So guys, do it.
Ha 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 ha.